And now let's talk about COVID. Yes, that's right. The virus is still making news. Another strain has been detected in India, that too, right when the festive season has begun. What is this new strain? What does this mean for holiday plans? In the next few minutes, we'll give you all the details. Let me start by saying that no new COVID variant has been reported since the Omicron variant emerged back in January. That remains the case. Instead, most of the new strains are subvariants of Omicron. Reports say that in India, the most prevalent type is the BA.275. In the US, it's the BA.5. In the UK, the BA.5-2 is leading the pack. And in Singapore, it's the XBB. But what does this mean? Why is this important? Well, because we're seeing something like a subvariant soup all across the world. And in this mixture, new strains are fighting to become more dominant. And one of them happens to be the BQ1. It's steadily gaining ground in the United States, and now it has made its way to India. This Omicron subvariant has evolved from the BA.5, and scientists say that this new variant, subvariant, could be more contagious than its parent type. There's more. It could also be immune evasive, which means that vaccines or past infections may not protect people from BQ1. In general, COVID restrictions are easing across the world. The world seems to be losing its appetite for lockdowns. China, of course, remains a major exception. Taiwan became one of the latest countries to get rid of mandatory quarantines. People are traveling across the world after years of restrictions. They are likely to spread newer COVID strains to different countries. So what can be done? Well, new vaccines are being developed to target specific variants. Scientists predict that COVID boosters may become an annual affair. It is already becoming the case in America.
If you think about it, take an average 40-year-old, if they got a booster last fall, they first became eligible for a new vaccine just a month ago. So essentially, for a majority of Americans, we've already gotten into a once-a-year rhythm.
And now let's talk about what should we not do. According to America's top infectious diseases expert, Dr. Anthony Fauci, we should not become complacent. In a recent interview, Fauci spoke of the dangers of declaring victory. This is after US President Joe Biden already said that the pandemic was over. Fauci believes that funding to combat COVID-19 should not stop, and that long COVID needs to be given more thought and focus. On the funding front, health officials in the United States are complaining. Listen in.
No doubt about it that our response has been hampered by that lack of funding. But all of this is made just dramatically harder by congressional inaction. You can't fight a deadly virus without resources, and congressional inaction is really costly.
So as the world tires of COVID, hopes are that it will become relatively mild, like influenza, and then people could just move on. Omicron did have a lower death toll than Delta, but is it wise to lower our guard down, especially now? The XBB strain doing the rounds in Singapore is a combination of two different Omicron subvariants. The emerging new strains could become more deadly. But are harsh lockdowns the way forward? How long can people hold up economically? India's festive season has begun. People are celebrating and shopping. After 2 years of restricted celebrations, they are heading out in huge numbers. And soon, this will be the case around the world. You'll see similar pictures coming in. People breathing a sigh of relief, truly wanting to believe the pandemic is over and diving into the holiday spirit. The way forward then remains regular vaccination. The virus will continue to evolve. It may be tedious to get booster shots every year, but if that's the price to pay for being able to celebrate with your loved ones, it's definitely worth a shot. WION World is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news updates on the move.